for in general in my life than this is. It's better, and you should use this if you're talking in general. I'm saying this sentence has two meanings. In
Mhm.
American culture, it has two very important meanings. It means this, and it means this if we add more context to it, if we say more about it. So it can mean both, and that's why it's important to add time to this so that we know which meaning it is. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes. And we are eating healthy this week. I don't know. It's a plan for future, or it is happening right now until the end of this week.
It's happening right now until the end of this week. Yep.
Uh-huh.
We'll
Okay,
talk
so
about
it's not about future.
not yet.
Mhm.
It can be. We're going to talk about that. We will talk about that. But this
Mhm.
one does not mean the future. It means right now we are eating healthy this week. So that could mean it's, let's pretend, let's imagine it's Tuesday. And that means if
Mhm.
I said this on Tuesday, we are eating healthy this week. That means right now, Tuesday until the end of the week, we are eating healthy and it ends.
Mhm. It has been started
Exactly.
right now.
It
Okay.
has been started. We're currently doing it, and it will end.
Okay. Got it.
Yep.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Good question. This is a really hard one, and this is why you guys are in this class. These are these hard, tiny things that'll make you sound more native. So, um,
Mhm.
good. Okay, Matab, I'm gonna answer your example in here, and then we're gonna move on. So you said I am going to leave the country. This is also a future. Uh, it implies a lot about the future. So we're gonna come back to this. If I were to take your sentence and change it to make it a temporary action, I would say I am leaving the country now. Okay. That means that like, I don't know, that's a bad example, but I am leaving the country right now, and after I leave, I have left. That's a complicated example. That's a really complicated explanation. Um, travel might be a difficult one to do that's in the present tense just because you're always traveling to somewhere else. But um, let's talk about the future tense really quickly because I think this will clear up quite a bit of the confusion between these three. Um, let me pull up an example. Okay. So the third really important thing that you can do with present progressive tense is future actions. Okay. So for an example, again, the biggest thing you're going to see here is time. Time is what really determines what the sentence means. Okay. So here's an example. We are meeting them at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. So this is in the future. If I were doing simple future tense, I could say we will meet them at 6 o'clock. That's a P. Sorry. Clock. Oh, I don't know where that went. I think somebody deleted that. Sorry, guys. Future ten or future actions. We are meeting them at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. And then the other one, we will them at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. So these mean the same thing. Okay. They mean the exact same thing. But the first sentence here implies more about how do I say this? It's more normal. It's more native. Like if somebody said to me, we will meet them at 6 o'clock tomorrow, in my head, in my soul, in my feelings as a native speaker, that sounds formal to me. That sounds really formal. It sounds really uncomfortable. I don't know. It's grammatically correct and it's 100% right. But if I were just talking with my friend and we were talking about a meeting tomorrow, they would almost always say this. They would say, we are meeting them at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And I can't really tell you why it's that way. It's just the way that this culture has grown. It's the way that this culture has developed, that this first sentence using present progressive tense for the future is more common and it's more native, it's more fluent. Let me give you another example, okay? Here's another example. He is traveling to Paris next month. Okay? So I can say that, or I can say he will travel to Paris next month. Okay? These both mean that in the future, he is going to travel to Paris next month, right? They mean the exact same thing. There's no difference in meaning. But this first sentence, which is the present progressive tense, I said is, and I use the gerund, it's more native and it's way more natural. Which is weird because we're talking about present progressive. It's present tense, right? But we're talking about the future. And again, if somebody said to me, he will travel to Paris next month, it just feels formal. It feels wrong. It feels like you're being too choppy with your words and it just feels uncomfortable. I don't know how else to describe that other than if you said the second sentence and not the first sentence, I would know you're not a native speaker. You're not wrong. You're not saying anything wrong. The grammar is 100% right. It's just different. So, Matab, for an example, I'm going to use your example, okay? You said, I am going to leave the country, okay? The future tense version of this, the simple future tense would be I will leave the country. And the second sentence feels wrong to a native speaker. It feels wrong. Almost every native speaker will use the first sentence. All right. So if we're talking about future tense, and I know this might sound really like uncomfortable, if you guys are using the future tense, I want you to use present progressive tense. Okay. You will sound so much more native. I promise you. Okay. Pinky promise. I don't know if you guys ever heard that, but um, it's so much more natural. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. I want you to change this simple future tense to this present progressive tense in the future. Okay. So here's an example. We will go to the park tomorrow. Can you guys translate that or change it? And you can just write it in the chat. Okay, Sarah, we are going to go to the park. That's right. That's correct. That's a good way. There's a couple other ways you could do it. Does anybody else uh want to take a shot at it? We are going to the park tomorrow. Perfect. Very good. Very, very good. There's probably one or two more ways you could say it. Okay, that's another example, Matab. We will go to school tomorrow. So That's a simple future. Can you use present progressive to change that? Okay, Nilo, we're going to the park tomorrow. Perfect. Nice. Okay, Matab had a really good example here. This is simple future. Let's shoot. I want you guys to try to translate that. Let's help him out a little bit. So this is simple future. We will go to school tomorrow. How would you say this in the present progressive? How do you think? Any ideas? We are gonna go to school tomorrow. That works. That works. That's really native. Using gonna. Nice. How would you say gonna, but like not native? Just the non-colloquial version of it.
What did you ask? I'm sorry, I didn't get
All
it.
right, yeah, I might have used a lot of vocabulary there. So you said we are gonna go to school tomorrow. What's the more formal way of saying gonna?
I don't know.
You know what? That's good if you don't know that. That means you won't use it too much. So you could say we are going to go to school tomorrow. The gerund of to go. Yeah, there we go. Good job. Going to. Perfect. Nice. So we're going to go to school tomorrow. So if I said we have this first sentence and then we have the second sentence, we are going to go to school tomorrow. And Sarah, yours works as well. That's totally
So
totally
you didn't ask your question. What is the another words for gonna?
so gonna is the word is colloquial. Is more native for going to.
Yeah, but you ask another thing that we can use
Oh
as
yeah. Yeah, my question was I was trying to see if anybody could say going to instead of gonna.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. Um, so if somebody said we will go to school tomorrow, and then another person said we are going to go to school tomorrow or we're gonna go to school tomorrow, I would know as a native speaker that the second person is native. Okay? If you said the first one, I would know that you maybe are still learning English. Like it's right. It's not wrong. The sentence isn't wrong. But if you use this present progressive style where we use the subject to be and then the gerund, the verb, and the ing, it just is 100% more native. Okay? It's so much more native. Um, and people will just honestly trust you a lot more with your language. Um, so these are the three biggest things that I wanted to cover. There's one more thing I want to add, just in case anybody has a question about it, and maybe you all understand it and it's just review. But I want to say this one more thing: negation. So how do I make something negative? It's really simple. Okay, we use not.
Ex
Oh yeah, sorry.
excuse me. How about in writing? When we write, I guess we will go
Yeah,
to
same thing.
school tomorrow. It sounds more I mean, I don't know, formal, right? Right?
Yep, it sounds more formal. So
Hmm.
if I'm if I'm writing like a college document, a very formal document, I would use simple future and I would say we will go to school tomorrow. But if
Hmm.
I was writing like a news article or like I don't know, like just something fun, like a text message, I would definitely use the present progressive tense.
Or a letter to a friend, or any spoken language.
Yep, exactly. Good question. Good question. Yeah, writing, again, if you want to be formal, use the simple future. If you want to be informal, use the present progressive. Okay. Real quick, negation. This will be super quick, and then we'll do lots of questions. Just like our equation up here, this guy, we start off with the subject. Okay, I, you, he, she, it, they, them, whatever. And then we do plus. I gotta expand this. Sorry, do that. We do to be, and then we do not. We say the word not, okay? And then after that is our verb. And then after that is our ing. So quick example. Let's just do the we are going to school tomorrow. I like that one. I can say we are not going to go to school tomorrow. Okay? So the only difference between this sentence and this sentence is I put the word not after to be, after are, right? That's the only difference. And now this whole sentence is negated, all right? So it's not very hard. You just have to know this basic equation, this basic format, this basic pattern. And then you just put not after to be, and that's it. Okay. So these four things are kind of the main things I wanted to cover and that I wanted to talk about. And I know this comes with a lot of practice. So what questions do you have? Let's really dive into this and try to understand it a little bit better. What questions do we have?
I have a question.
Hey,
When we are telling a story and we are telling to our friends about the last week or last night, can we use the present tense, present progressive tense? Because
yes, you can.
because I heard this present progressive tense in the telling the story that people use it.
Yep, you can. So
Native also.
yep, if you're telling a story as if you're living it right now, you can use it. So a good example would be, let's pretend I'm telling you a story about, I don't know, a bad date that I went on in high school, right? And I could say like, so I went on this bad date and I was there and we are having dinner. Did you hear me say it right there? Like, we're having dinner. And now it's like you all just entered into my story and you're watching the story now. Does that make sense? Like, if I
We
say,
are describing that situation. You're
yep,
just illustrate that situation. You can use the present progressive
yep.
tense, right?
When you're describing the situation as if you were there. So, like it was happening right now, you can use it. And I'd say using present progressive tense to tell a story makes a story more interesting. It makes
Yeah,
people feel like
you
they're
use this
experiencing.
imagination things,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you should imagine yourself in that situation. Is
yeah.
that the same thing? Yeah.
Exactly. It's like you're living that experience. It's like you're there. It's like, um, yeah, you're experiencing that thing. So, yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Great question. Great question. Okay, what other questions do we have? Are there any questions about, like, do we understand the differences here? Do we understand the biggest difference? There's not much difference in how the sentences are built. They're very small differences, but they mean very different things. So are there any questions about understanding these? Okay, so here's what I want to do then. I want to see, let's start with just a simple present progressive tense sentence. This number 1 up here, okay? I want everybody to just write one sentence in the chat, just showing me that you can write this, all right? And if you get it wrong, that's okay. We'll work it out and we'll get better from there. But everybody just write one present progressive tense using whatever verb you'd like, whatever context you'd like. And let's just make sure that we understand this. So let's start with number 1, just a basic present progressive tense. Go ahead and write a sentence into the chat. I am sitting right now. Okay, Nilo, good. I like it. That's perfect. Very, very good. Okay. I'm gonna see one of my friends this Friday. Okay. Sarah, that's gonna be future tense, but I like it. You got it. You've got it. If I were to make this just simple present progressive tense, I would say going to makes it future. So I wouldn't use going to. I would say I am seeing one of my friends. And that would just be basic. Like right now, I am seeing one of my friends. So, okay, Maya, I'm commuting right now. Perfect. I love that.
Excuse me, can we say I'm visiting my friend instead of
I'm visiting my friend.
seeing?
Yep, 100%. I'm visiting my friend. Yep. I'd say,
I don't know, because
yeah,
seeing it's very strange for me
yeah.
because nobody says seeing. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I made a mistake.
In Persian, that wouldn't make any sense. Natives will say, I'm seeing my friend, and that means to visit.
Yeah, because I heard from lots of my native friends that they use the C,
mhm.
but the
Yep.
visits or meeting, it's a little formal, I think, for them.
It can be, not always, but it definitely can be. But if you say I'm seeing one of my friends, that's very native, very informal, and it just means to visit. It just means to visit.
Yeah, when you want to see your professor or something, I always use the meeting for them.
Yep.
But when I want to use them, the word for my friends, I always use the C. I don't know if it's right or not.
Yeah, no, that's definitely correct. And I would say that using the word to see, like I'm seeing my professor, it just relaxes the situation. Like من کمی بیشتر راحت‌تر احساس میکنم وقتی که to see استفاده میکنم. خب, like if I wrote an email to my professor and I said, "Hey, I'd like to see you during your office hours," it's a little more comfortable. It's a little more relaxed, a little more informal, right? But if you use to visit, that's also totally fine. There's like to visit isn't super formal. It's just in the middle. Like it's not formal, it's not informal. It's just normal. So, does that answer your question, Nilo?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great question. Sorry, I just saw that last message in there. Yeah. They are having some relationship problems. Yep, that's perfect. That's a great example. That one would be a basic present tense. So that number 1. So good job. Let's see. Okay, Sarah, can I correct you on this sentence? Okay, so you said he is scaring of the movie. So you're talking about right now, like mitar say, right? This one I would change to say he is scared of the movie. Scared is an adjective. It's a description. It's not an action. So this is a little bit different. To scare is the action of scaring something or scaring someone. It's an action of doing that. You can't scare yourself. You can't, how do I say that? If I wanted to say that, I would say this. I would say he is fearing the movie. That's a better one. Good. Yep. I'd say he's fearing the movie. But if I use to scare, I say he is scaring, I don't know, scaring the kids. Like you scare people, you scare objects, you scare living things. So yeah, now we're just talking about this individual
So
verb.
is it the verb? The scare is a verb, right?
To scare is a verb. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But to scare does not mean to be scared. That's different. To be scared means like mi tarsam, like I am scared of something, right?
Mhm.
To scare means I make somebody else scared. I make something else scared. I do that to someone. Does that make sense?
I need some examples, sorry.
Yeah, let me think. So I am scaring let's see. My friends. Okay. So this one I just sent this is to scare, the verb to scare, right? I am scaring my friends with my loud voice. So let's say I yell really, really, really loud. I'm scaring my friends. Okay. The opposite of this, to be scared, this is a different verb. It's to be scared, would be my friends. My friends are scared of my loud voice. So now, mitar sand, right? Yeah, you scared me, right? Exactly. So to scare is an action. You scare something. To be scared is an adjective. It describes something. To be is a verb, but right. If I said I am scared, yeah. Okay, yeah, yes, exactly. Tavsondan bad Tavsidan. Exactly. Yep. There you go. I probably should have just said that from the beginning. That's it. That's exactly it. Nice. Okay. All right. Let's do really quickly. Class is getting close to ending. Let's do an example of number 2 really quickly. Can everybody write me an example for number 2? A temporary action. He is fixing the table this weekend. Perfect. I love it. Very nice, Nilo. So he's fixing the table this weekend, and after this weekend, he's done. Good. Good. Let's see. Any other examples? Anybody else want to try one? Let's see. Okay, here we go. She is reading her favorite book tomorrow. Yep, that works. That works. We're having Thanksgiving dinner tonight. Good. I like that. Good. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And a lot of times, number 2 and number 3, temporary actions and future actions, kind of blend together because temporary actions talk about the future. So they're kind of the same thing. You just need to understand that you can have a little bit of a context change based off of that. So, okay, good. And then if anybody wants to try a future action, like I said, temporary action and future action are kind of the same thing. We can. But other than that, yeah, what other questions do we have about this? Any other questions before we wrap up, before we finish? They are leaving the park at 7 p.m. Perfect. And Sarah, if I said they will leave the park at 7 o'clock, that wouldn't sound very native. So good job. I like it. She is watching TV tonight. Yep. Good. Good. I like it. Same thing. If you had said she will watch TV tonight, again, a little more formal. It just doesn't sound as clean. It doesn't sound as smooth. So good job. Okay. Any other examples you guys want me to try to just confirm? Okay. All right. Well, you guys, thank you for coming tonight. This is one of those things that, you know, I hope it's helpful. These are little tiny things that will just make you better every single day. I've learned in my life that 1% increases, 1%, betterments in my day and in my life are what make me a better person and what make me a better learner and teacher and all those things. So I hope this is one of those things that you can take tonight and start using, and you'll just be a little bit better because of this. And over time, all these little tiny things grow to where you become just an amazing English speaker, okay? Thank you for working with me tonight, and thank you for taking time to learn this, okay? If you have any questions about this, please shoot me an email or send me a message on Instagram. I was talking with Sarah earlier. I think we're going to open a Telegram chat just so we can talk throughout the week, because once a week definitely isn't enough. So I'm going to try to open a Telegram chat for you guys. I'm going to look into it, and I'll make an announcement if we do that. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you for trusting me to teach you. Like I really I don't feel qualified to be a teacher sometimes, but you guys are nice enough to let me teach you, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your trust. And if I can ever do anything better, like please tell me. Like I want to improve and I want to be better for you guys. So with that, I'll end class and I'll wait here for a couple minutes if anybody would like to talk about anything different, anything else. But other than that, I'll plan on seeing you guys next week and we'll keep going. Okay?
Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Can we have a session about slangs and idiomatic words or phrases?
Yeah, okay. Do you want to do it next week? Because I'll do it next week.
Because this is a challenge for always for immigrants.
Yep. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna assign you all homework for next week. All right. We're gonna talk about slang, and your homework is to come with idioms, slangs, and words that you hear from natives, and you just have no idea what they mean. Okay. I will bring lots. I'll bring so many, and we'll talk about them. Okay. That'll be a fun class. Okay. But that's your homework. Listen for natives this week and find things that you're like, I have no idea what that means, and write it down and then bring it to class next week and we'll do that. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. We'll close class here. If you have more questions, stay here. We'll talk for a little bit. other than that, have a great night, and I'll see you next week. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was perfect, and see you next Monday.
Hey, see you next Monday.
Good night.
Good
Good night, guys.
Thank you for everything.
Absolutely.
This my class is very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great night.
Have a good night, guys. Thank
All right,
you.
see you. Awesome.
See you
So,
later.
do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question about when one of my friends tell me about something and I want to tell her خیالت راحت باشه or بسپارش به من. What is there anything in English that we will use?
Can you write it in the chat? I just want to make sure I'm understanding it right really quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, write it in the chat for me. I just want to make sure I'm thinking the same thing as you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think I don't know if I've said it in class before. I think Persian is such a prettier language than English. Like there's emotion behind Persian that exists that just doesn't exist in English sometimes. So like I mean the really dumb and like really straightforward way to say that is just don't worry. Like don't like don't worry. But I'd say like don't stress. Don't stress. Like relax. Don't stress. Don't stress about it. I'll write that in the chat. So don't stress about it. Both of those would be pretty close to that. It's not as poetic, but yeah, that's probably the closest way to say it.
So there is not any idiom or something about the idiom about this situation?
I mean, there are. It's just I'm trying to think of a good one, like off the top of my head. I know there are.
Excuse me, don't
Because
stress or don't.
probably,
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because I always say don't worry, and I think it's a lot to use in daily conversation. I
Yeah.
just want to find something else.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There definitely are. I'm just trying to remember them. You can say like, yeah, don't worry. I mean, like that's kind of a boring one, like you said. Okay, here's one. You say don't sweat about it. This is really informal. Really, really informal. You can say like don't sweat about it. Or don't you say don't lose yourself. That's probably a good one as well. Don't lose yourself. I'll see if I can find a couple of more. I'm just not remembering any more right now, but those are some good ones, probably. Yeah, you can count on me. You can say I've got your back. Yeah. I wouldn't say I back you up. I'd say I got your back. Or I've got you. Kind of like Doramet. I don't know. That's not it. That's a little different, but yeah. So those are probably good ones.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hi. Sorry for
How's it
being
going,
late.
Maya? Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see everyone. Thank you. And is you got this the same, or like if you tell the person you got this?
That's
Or
a
it's like
little,
what's the difference between
yeah.
that one and these ones?
So, okay. سعی میکنم به فارسی توضیحش بدم. So I've got you یعنی حمایتتون دارم or میکنم sorry ندارم حمایتتون میکنم right like I'm supporting you but you've got this یعنی like شما میتونی انجامش بدی like you can do it like it's یه عبارتی انگیزشی like you're trying to motivate them you're encouraging them right one is showing support and one is encouraging yeah yeah تو موفق خواهی شد yeah exactly yep so yeah does that make
Oh, thank
sense
you. Yeah, totally. Thank you.
awesome okay all right any other questions before we wrap up I like how people stay to listen to other questions that's awesome that's great okay anything else
If there, oh, go ahead, Sarah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, because I
cut her
was
off.
a bit shy. I was a bit shy to ask it because I missed the first part of the class. So I felt like I shouldn't be asking this right now, but I was looking at the whiteboard, and thinking about the third one, future actions. So, like, is it as straightforward as that? Like, it could be like present, that structure could be used for future
Yep, exactly.
actions. I was
Yep,
so surprised. I didn't know about
yep.
it, and
It's as straightforward as that, and it's more common to use the present progressive tense as future tense than basic future tense. Like natives use this more than basic future tense. So I
oh,
was
very
I was
interesting.
trying to explain that you will sound more native and more fluent by using present progressive tense for the future as opposed to basic future tense. Basic future tense sounds, oh, I don't know if you guys will understand this word, but it sounds archaic. That archaic means like old. It sounds like cavemen. It sounds like choppy. I don't know. It just doesn't sound smooth. It doesn't feel right to a native. It is right. Basic future tense is right. There's nothing wrong with it. But most natives colloquially use the present progressive tense for future.
That's super interesting. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to watch the recording.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. I'll get it up there as soon as I can.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Any final questions? Sorry, did you have something?
No, I just want to say I will ask you another questions in Telegram because I didn't remember right now.
Yeah, sounds good. I will when I make the Telegram, I will announce it. I'll send an email to everybody. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do it really soon and I'll get that going. So okay. All right, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, then I'm gonna end the meeting. Thank you again for coming. Again, if you guys have any friends or family that want to join the class, let them know. Your support is awesome. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And I'll send out that email about Telegram, okay?
Thank you so much. Have a
Yep.
great night, everyone.
As well. Shab خوبی داشته باشی.
I'm Kenny.
Awesome. See you guys.